everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy. Stop it.
I'm here with my bestie Jessica, who's cosplaying as a tomato.
This is why I hate the sun, guys. I mean, this really is why I hate the sun. It was the 4th of July yesterday. We were downtown all day. Ugh. Anyhow, it's time for those 1-minute book recs. I will be a tomato for the next week of videos because we bulk record, so that's going to be fun. And honestly, the tomato doesn't go away. It doesn't tan. It just stays tomato, so this is going to be great. But let's talk about our reading week. And I've completely lost the plot. So Mandy, take over before I say something that doesn't.
I just have a question. When we went to Chula Vista and we were outside in the lazy river, we joked about like my friend the vampire. What happened?
She wasn't wearing a hat. Well, I had a hat on when we were down in Chula Vista, which, protected the face because sunblock is really hard for me to wear on my face. And so the parade yesterday, our downtown redid all the sidewalks and they pulled out all of the shading. So I didn't have a hat on and there wasn't any kind of shading. And so when the sun decided to actually come out, it just right down on me the whole time. So, just my life. So fun. So anyhow, okay. Do your thing that has nothing to do with the raccoon eyes that I've got going on right now too.
Okay, well, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we always have giveaways going on because we are doing our 26 books of 2026 this year. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. Right now we have our coveted cover giveaway.
Yep. Which is the special edition of Celia Aaron's The Cloister Trilogy. We are doing this as a bind up because it is 3 books, and I wanted to make sure that everybody got all 3 books and didn't have to get a add-on with this one. So we were able to do that. And it looks like a stained glass window, and it's all pretty. And all you have to do is to enter to win is to be a subscriber. But we are going to close that on Friday.
July 10th.
Okay. And then you guys will find out the winner in our 1-minute book recs next Monday.
Yes. And then we also will have another giveaway starting on Wednesday. So make sure you check out our Wednesday video as well.
Perfect. Okay.
Lots of books to give away here.
Yeah. That's fun. How was your reading week?
Oh, my reading was pretty good. I got quite a bit read. I have one book that I have a few critiques on. But I had some good reads too. So I read 12 books.
Okay. I had a pretty good reading week. I had a couple of 5 stars in there, and I read 8 books. You get to go first.
But I have a trilogy, but that still isn't going to change that, is it?
Because you're going to talk about them individually? Are you talking about them individually?
No. But if you read 8 and I read a trilogy, that's still not going to change our order of how we're going.
No.
That's what I said. And then you started questioning me on it.
Well, remember, I don't feel good. My head hurts, and I've got a little fog going on.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
Okay. Also, I am in my audiobook era this summer, just an FYI for everyone.
Okay.
I have a lot of outdoor projects and indoor stuff that I'm doing, so
I'm
knocking out the audiobooks.
Okay. I've just been bedazzling books and listening to audiobooks.
Are you going to share your bedazzled books with us? Ooh, make them into a short and show us.
I'm going to have to because they're being put away. And like every night when I finish one, I'm like, ooh, let's find another one. I've come to realize that I don't have a lot of books that have the type of cover to be bedazzled because I tend to have a lot of the man covers. So it's not as easy to bedazzle. Yeah, bedazzle his nipples, make them nice and shiny. I am doing one of Daisy Jane's right now, though, because I was like, this one could be bedazzled. See, hopefully it's all dry. Oh, you can't see the bedazzle. Yeah. So that one worked.
Are you going to bedazzle any of your coveted cover books?
Oh, hell no. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I think we put enough bling on those. I think we're okay. I don't need to bedazzle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So let's get started.
Okay. So a couple of my books for my 1-minute book recs I've already talked about, which is kind of weird. They ended up in my top 5 for June, but I read them
Mhm.
after we did our last 1 minute book recs, but
Yes.
before the end of June. So it
Same
may
piece.
feel like, wait, didn't she just talk about this? But that's why. So up first is Beacon by Claire Kent. This is book number 8, and it is the last book in the Kindled series. This is post-apocalyptic / dystopian. And this is also Second Chance. So Mac and Anna have been characters that we have seen since the beginning. Back in Last Light, I believe we see them, which is not in this series. It's like a separate one. But anyways, uh, so we've seen them quite a bit. They've been like a couple you're kind of waiting for their story throughout the whole thing. And so in book 8, something happens, and Mac decides that he is going to just basically self isolate. And he goes off and stays at this cabin out in the wild. The wild is a very dangerous area. And he goes to stay alone out there. And Anna eventually gets pretty worried about him. And so she ventures out there by herself to go and try and get him to come back with everybody else and just to check on him because she's really worried about him. She cares about him. And when she gets there, he is not happy that she's there. He's like really cold and kind of a jerk. And some stuff happens and she ends up having to stay a little bit with him. And she just tries to kind of break down those walls. She also has a backstory of like abuse and things, which has kind of complicated their relationship over the years. But I would highly recommend just reading the whole series in order because it really just kind of builds through. Like it's just such a great series.
It
And
is a
you
good
see the
series.
couples like as they're building communities and things through it. So
Mhm.
I loved it, and it was my top for June.
So it's safe to say you gave it 5 stars then.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, the next book that I have was also in my top for June, and this is the first time we're talking about it. This one won't be available until August 14th, and I might have said August 16th in the video. I don't remember, but the 14th and the 16th in my life are dates that are important to people, so that I get them confused once in a while, even though they're completely different dates. Anyhow, so this is Griffin Food by LV Lane. This is a part of her Coveted Prey series. I don't even know what number this is because I don't think she's even numbering them now. She just says it takes place in that world. So this is Violet's story. She is a sister to the queen, the bad queen that we see in the Coveted Prey world. And she is an Omega, but she is hiding her designation from her sister, who does not like Omegas. And she knows that at some point she is going to have to leave. She's going to have to flee the castle and get away from her sister because she hates Omegas and she does mean things to Omegas. And so one day, she's very nerdy, she's very scholarly, and she thinks that she can just go ride a stallion because a stallion's a faster horse, and that's what she wants to try. She's never ridden a horse, by the way. She's just read books on horse riding. And so she takes one of the stallions out of the stables and it takes off with her. And that is where we see 2 of the guards to the queen help her. They catch the horse and her, and they help her. And then she blackmails them into going on an adventure with her because all she wants to do is see a griffin. And so they go on a years-long trek until they find these griffins. Well, the thing is she is an Omega, so she's going to go through heats. And so she doesn't realize it because she hasn't had one yet, but she goes through her first heat there. And she doesn't remember anything that happens when she's in the middle of that. And the guys are having to help her through it. They're in love with her. She doesn't remember anything when she comes out of it. Also griffins. So anyhow, 5 stars, loved it. It was an adventure. It was a lot of fun. Next.
Okay. So my
Okay.
next book is actually a trilogy, and I started the first book in the pool at Spicy Reads, and then we got out.
Along with 4 other books or 3 other books. Yeah.
I think I started 4 other books while we were in the pool. I have finished 3 of those, so I would like to point out that that was actually a fairly good strategy on my part.
That was on your part, yeah.
So we got out and we went and met the author, and I went to buy the book, and it turned out it was part of a trilogy. So that is how I bought all 3 books. And then mass panic ensued the next day when we were packing.
Yes, 100%. Yes, it did.
Not just me though.
Oh no. No, and it wasn't that I didn't. It wasn't that I didn't have room, because I had plenty of room in my suitcase. It was the weight. Yeah. That is the problem. So
that was my issue too. I was like moving things out of my big suitcase to try and put lighter stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
So I could pack more but lighter. Like,
there was so much room in my suitcase. Just it was already at 50 pounds. Yeah. So yeah. All right. Tell us about this one.
Okay. So the this is the Forever trilogy, and the first book is Waiting Forever, and this is by C.M. Wiley, and this is her debut novel or trilogy, I guess you'd call it. So we have Everly. Everly has, she's a senior in high school. She's almost graduated. And she leaves town and goes to live with her aunt because of a scandal that's happened. So Everly goes to live with her aunt, and she leaves behind the scandal, and we go to flashbacks to kind of like she retells kind of what's happened, but as we go along in the story, so you don't really understand what's going on. She just wanted to leave town because of how it was impacting her sister, and her sister basically is like her close friend, but also has taken care of her because their mom is kind of MIA on them. And so when she gets there, she ends up meeting Julian. Julian's a few years older than her. He's also a little broken and has some things going on in his past. And so the two of them kind of have an interesting meet cute, but they start to kind of form a friendship and then go from there, like where it kind of escalates a little bit quickly. I don't know if I would necessarily, it's more maybe an insta lust and then to the love part, if that makes sense. Um, so it is 3 books. I would say I really enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars. There were a few times where I felt like it started to get a little soap opera-y. But sometimes that can be enjoyable in a book too, you know? So
Yeah.
go check out C.M. Wiley though, because this is her debut. And for a debut, I felt like it was really, really strong. And I feel like she'll be an author I'll definitely want to keep watch for new releases from her.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm putting my book. I have so much stuff. We're like doing a bunch of recording, and so I have so much stuff that like where I normally put my books after I've talked about them is full. Sorry.
It's full. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, the next book I have is one that the audio released just recently, which made me pick it up because I've been looking at it. I just hadn't physically read it yet. And this is In You by S.K. Presley. This is a dark romance. She markets it as pitch black. It's definitely dark. But it is about Tamron who and Caleb. So Caleb is like a mercenary. He goes in and he breaks up child how do we say it, PDF file situations. And so he goes in undercover and does that. And he takes these guys out. Well, he infiltrates a group, and he's told that there is a young girl in this house, and he is going to go in and he is going to rescue this young girl. And when he gets there, he realizes that there is like a girlfriend, like a living girlfriend in the situation, and that is Tamron. And he can't quite figure out if Tamron is involved or not. But during dinner, he realizes that maybe she's not, like maybe she's not willingly here. And that is when he executes his situation, and she sees what he's doing, and he decides that she can't be let go. She has to come stay with him. And when he gets her home, she's definitely been abused, and he has definitely bitten off a lot more than he can chew, because the way that she's dealt with the trauma that she's gone through is by developing multiple personalities. And so he doesn't want to let her out because it's like captive, because he doesn't want to let her go because she saw him, unalive a whole bunch of people. But at the same time, she needs help. So I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a good one. Definitely check triggers though.
That sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think I would like it?
Probably not. I don't know. Maybe it's definitely darker though. Yeah. I loved the whole thing. And then the ending, I just felt like I needed more. Does that make sense? Yeah. Not like the ending's bad. I just needed more. So. Anyhow, you might like it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You're spacey.
How am I spacey?
You were spacing off. The eyes were just looking, just not blinking, just. And I said that I'm like, you're spacey. Then you blink and look over at me. So yes.
Is this pick on Mandy Day or what?
Would you like it to be?
No. But
Okay.
maybe I should show you my new tote.
Yay, that's so cool. Was that the excitement you wanted?
Yes, this is
Oh,
going to
okay.
be like my entire identity. This is my purse.
It's already your identity. The
This is
whole
going
off campus
everywhere
has
with
become
me.
your identity.
And my little plaque back here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not a one, like, I don't dislike One Direction, but I'm not like a, oh my God, it's One Direction, like, fan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have nothing against them. I'm just not like, okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know a lot about One Direction and like their comings and goings and stuff. So the next book that I read is based lightly like on that boy band. So I really enjoyed this book, but I want to say that like I don't know One Direction, so I feel like there was stuff in here that probably followed that and may read like fan fiction to some people, but because that's not really my thing, it didn't read that way to me. So I'm just going to put that out there. So this was another book that I started in the pool.
Is
And
this
that
the
is,
one that we were talking about a lot in the pool?
I don't know. You floated away from me so
Is
often.
this the
How are
one
we
where you went to
talking
go get
about
the
it?
book and the author wasn't there?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, it is. Okay.
So
All
let
right.
this be a lesson. If you're an author and you're at a book signing event, don't leave early because somebody may come back wanting to buy your book.
Yeah,
And we
exactly.
like there was still a good half an hour, 45 minutes left, but I didn't hear why she left early. It could have been a planned thing that she already knew she had to leave early. There could have been an emergency. I don't know why she left
Right.
early. So
Right.
no shade to her for leaving early, just an FYI if you're ever tempted to, somebody
Go.
may be coming back to talk to you.
Yep.
So
Okay.
this is Saving Ian Pope by Carol Erickson. And so we have Ivy, who's a romance author, and she is at a book signing event, but it's like out on the street, like it feels almost like a vendor event. And she's a pretty well-known author, so she's there doing this, and this guy walks up to her, and she doesn't realize who he is at first, and they kind of hit it off when they're chatting and everything. And it turns out that's Ian Pope, who's from a boy band. The boy band has since broken up, and she doesn't know much about the boy band either, so she doesn't really know much about him. She recognizes his name once he tells her who he is, but that's about it. And he is now trying to do a solo career, but he just got out of rehab. Like his life is not like he's struggled a little bit in the past year. And so he this this is the part where I feel like it might read like fan fiction to some people because they decide to hang out and he basically stays with her for a few days while she plays tour guide to LA with him. And that's the part that might feel a little fan fictiony like, but I enjoyed it because I think at some point in time, like haven't we all at some point in our life fantasized about some famous person wanting to like, when we were teenagers or whatever, wanting to like be with us, like, or it was an older man that went like that we knew. Jessica.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So anyway, he then has to go back to London, but Ivy has some big secrets and her brother is blackmailing her, which really complicates their relationship a lot. Enjoyed it a lot. I rated it 4 stars, and I am tempted to continue on in the series, but I have a shit ton of other books that I want to read before I do that. But I
Okay.
think I will go back to the series. I just don't know
Yeah.
when.
And shit ton is an actual form of measurement. We both use it
In books, it
in
is.
books. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
perhaps yard work.
In pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I have a
Okay.
shit ton of tansy to go pull after this.
Oh, it's tansy pulling time.
Oh my God,
Okay.
it's like my entire identity. Did I tell you the feed store guy told me 4 to 5 years of completely pulling all of it off your property before you can eradicate it?
And you're on year what?
I can never get it all pulled. I try so hard. And then like I clear an area and then it just comes back and I pull it out by the root, which is what they say to do. If it starts to get to where I haven't gotten to it, I go and cut the heads off and put it in like the garbage bags so it's not flowering. Like, I'm doing everything they tell us to do.
And it just
And
doesn't
I
go away.
just can't keep up with it. I've replanted my field. Like, I've done everything. It's just a horrible nightmare. Thank
This
you
is
for
Mandy's
listening.
idea of hell. Is just constantly pulling Tansy and it comes right back. Yeah.
Feels like it.
Yeah. Okay, so the next book that I read was one the audio just came out last week, I believe, and it's Saving Jesse's Girl by Lauren Beale. I really like this one, and you'll all figure out why in just a second. But this is about Emmy and Benji. So Emmy is a waitress, and one day she's working, and she notices a set of twins, they're identical twins, at a table, and she goes over to get one of them. One of them flags her. It's not her actual table. And then she realizes that the other brother, the one that has piercings and is tattooed and whatever, one looks like a banker, one looks like a tattooed bad boy. The tattooed bad boy is signing to his brother, and he asks his brother to ask Emmy if she'll
Ding,
get him
ding,
a glass
ding.
of water. Yeah, that's it. It's the deaf part. So he's not deaf, actually. He just lost the ability to speak due to trauma. He can still hear just fine, but Emmy has a deaf brother, and so Emmy knows ASL, and so she and him can communicate. Well, the other brother, Jesse, is the one who starts flirting with her, and she ends up starting to date Jesse. Well, we find out from Benji that Jesse has a problem. Jesse has a drug problem, and Jesse has a treating my girlfriends properly problem. And he tries to keep Emmy away from him, but doesn't do a very good job because Jesse is an abuser. And he isolates her very quickly, and he shows her the good side very quickly, and then she doesn't realize what she's getting herself into. So it's going to be up to Benji to save Emmy from Jesse. And I gave it 5 stars.
That sounds good.
It was good.
Okay. Next, are we ready? Or do you still want to talk
By the
about
way,
it?
Joe Arden did the audio, so it was really good.
I
can't
might
remember
be
who the
able
girl
to
was.
listen to it then when I'm pulling Tansy or cleaning my
Yes,
house or putting down floor or trying to finish my landscaping.
all the good stuff.
Yeah. Again, audiobook era this summer.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay,
What's
so
next?
next, this is my next book off of my list of books from the Lazy River.
Okay, good. Here we go. This is the third.
This
You got
one I
3 out of
just,
it. You said
what?
3. You were able to read 3 of the ones that you
Yeah.
started. You're able to finish this. Okay.
Yeah. The other
Okay.
one, the older brother, I think is what the other one is. It's on my Kindle, but I've been reading some other stuff. I'm going to read it. It's good. I just have some other stuff to read. And I went to go buy the book and she was out of the cover I wanted. So I'll probably just grab that off Amazon.
Yeah. Okay.
Or I think she said she had it on her website. Okay. So I really just fell in love with this cover. I really, really liked it. So, but I've been burned before about buying books at, book events based on the cover and then not being that great. So I wanted to try it out first and then I really enjoyed it. So this is the
But the
Breakout by
opposite has happened too. Sometimes we
what?
see authors that the opposite happens too. Sometimes we see
Oh
authors
yeah.
with their covers where we're like, oh, that cover just doesn't look that great. But the book, the
Mhm.
story in itself and of itself is amazing. The author just didn't have a lot of money for cover art. So
Mhm.
you can't judge a book by a cover, but we still do that. Just saying.
Well, a lot of the times there is some validity to it.
There is. There is. So okay, tell us about it.
Okay, so this is The Breakout by Maddie Daniel. This is the 3rd book in the Denver Dragon series, but you can read, these are interconnected standalones. So it's hockey. For those of you who are craving hockey, there is definitely hockey in this. And we do see quite a bit of hockey in this. Colton's life really revolves around hockey. So Colton has wanted to hook up with Bryn for a while. And whenever he sees her, he is kind of a little relentless and she banters right back with him, kind of in your dreams you wish. And they are a little feisty with each other, which he just really loves. This is why he's very attracted to her because of this. Well, he's on the LA team and her brother plays for the Denver Dragons. And then he gets traded and has to go to Denver. And he is not happy about this at all. And he's he's kind of an ass to everybody because he's like, this may be the team I'm on, but you're not my team type thing. And he just is like, I'm going to do my job and that's it. I don't want to go out with you guys, any of that stuff. And then and then the captain is Bryn's brother. And so Bryn is around a lot and he just kind of relentlessly pursues her. Bryn's family life, they grew up really, really like rough. And she just wants to kind of be loved and not be alone, but she's very cautious as well. And so the two of them end up hooking up. This book is very spicy, but the spice I feel like really, really drives the plot. I said this when I did our wrap up because this was one of my top books in June. And I feel like it really drives the plot. I don't know if everybody would agree with me on that, but I felt like it did. Like every time they hook up, more of their layers kind of come off. And I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. I rated it 5 stars. And I became obsessed with her family. And I read another book in that series, which I will talk about next week.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so the next book.
Not in that series. By Maddie Dan. It's a different series. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
The next book I read is or was Runaway Bond by Sinclair Kelly. This is book 2 in the Darling Omegaverse. This is her Cowboy Omegaverse series. And audio just recently came out for this one too. So this is about Shay. Shay works at one of the bars in town. She wants to buy one of the bars. She's been hurt before by her past alpha. She's an omega, obviously. And she really has her guard up. Like she wants nothing to do with alphas. She has a close friend who is a beta and he has a pack and she tortures, like teases him quite a bit. And there is an attraction between the two of them, but she really has her guard up and like wants nothing to do with him in that way because he has a pack and she doesn't want anything to do with alphas. Well, one day there's a big storm. And she knows that she has a leak in her roof of her house. But again, she's saving all her money because she wants to buy this bar. And the leak leads to a flood in her house. And so she is going to have to go stay with this pack. They offer their home. And that leads to her maybe giving in a little bit on the whole alpha situation. And there's also other things happening. One of the alphas is a romance writer who writes under a pen name, and he may or may not have a stalker situation happening. So there's other things going on. I gave it 4 stars.
I just listened to that yesterday.
Did you? I liked the stuff like with the animals when they were trying to get them all into the house, like when the flood or the storm happened. So I love the guys with the animals. I thought it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And we do see characters from the first book. So the little girl's back in here and stuff. So yeah. Okay. Next.
Okay, so I started this one before we left and then it got put on pause while we were gone and then I finished it when we got back and that was Adrift by Swathi MH, which I saw that you've also read this too, Jessica.
That was my first Swathi book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I read out of order. I read
know.
the last book in this series. So this is the first book in the Elements of Rapture series. We see these guys in her other books, and I absolutely love the banter between the guy groups. So I really wanted to go back and finish this series. So in this, we have Darian. His wife passed away. He has a little, I can't remember. His son is little. That he's raising, and his wife was estranged from her family, and his wife's sister and him and his wife were kind of on the rocks for several years when she got pregnant, and they were like, well, maybe this will fix our marriage, but we all know how those things work out. So his deceased wife's little sister comes to stay with him to be the nanny and to help him with everything, and they start to feel attracted to each other. So we definitely have some massive forbidden love in this one with, ex-wife's sister. And the reason they were estranged from her family is because they did not approve of him. So then hooking up with the little sister is going to be great either. And she is of age. Like, she is of age.
Yeah,
when I say little sister, she was just, I should have said younger sister, maybe would be more appropriate. But yeah. I rated it 4 stars.
Okay. All right. Well, the next book is, I read this one just for you, Mandy. This is all for you because this is an amnesia book and it's all for you.
Am I going to want to read it?
Probably. Okay. So this is Shattered Secrets by Lillian Harris. Lillian Harris actually has a mafia series. You don't have to have read any of the books in that Mafia series. I read a couple, but you don't have to have read them in order to enjoy this. This is about Hadley and Hudson. So Hadley and Hudson have been married for several years. They're struggling with infertility. Hadley is an elementary school teacher, I believe is what it said. She's a teacher, teaches little kids. And Hudson is a big hotshot attorney. But the thing is he works for the mafia. He was rescued by the Dawn of the Italian Mafia, and he became an attorney so that he can take on their cases and, you know, do their dirty work. So his hands are not clean at all, and he has done some pretty heinous things for the mafia. Hadley doesn't know this. He keeps this side of himself away from her, and he's afraid that if she finds out that she'll leave. Well, one night he doesn't come home from work, and he's missing for 4 years. And then he might show up and he might have amnesia. So gave it 4 stars. Really loved it. Oh, and did I mention she finds out she's pregnant right after he goes missing?
That does sound good.
It was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've got quite a few book recs coming off of your reading this past week.
I know. Just add that to your ginormous shit ton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so next I got the ALC for Endless Summer Nights by Willow Astor. This comes out on July 9th and is done by Megan Wicks and Gideon Frost. So this is the 4th book in the Windy Harbor series. We have Tully. Tully is in the NHL, and it's like off season. He's at his family's resort, and he sees like the girlfriend that broke his heart several years ago at his family's resort with her boyfriend, who happens to be one of his big rivals. And she has no idea that this is where his family's resort is, but her boyfriend knows, and he may have done this on purpose. And so we see this told in dual timelines. There's still feelings between the two of them, obviously, and there's reasons they broke up, which we see through the dual timelines. I rated it 4 stars. There were a few times during this book that I feel really bad because I still rated it at 4 stars. It is a 4-star book. I stand behind that. But there were just a few times where I got a little like, really? We couldn't have like talked about that? Because some stuff happens, and it's not really a miscommunication trope. I want to make that clear. It's not a miscommunication trope. I just feel like there were other options. I didn't feel, yeah. And so I was just like, so kind of kept it from being 5 stars for me, I think.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay, well, next I picked up a Kristen Ashley book. So I love Kristen Ashley. I love her writing, and this book obviously is 100% Kristen Ashley. The minute you get into it, you're like, yeah, there we are. Her writing is it's unique to her. And so this is called Night, and it is the first book in her Unfinished Hero series. This is, Kristen really doesn't write a lot of dark, but this is probably one of the darker, like straightforward, darker contemporary type series that she has. And I wouldn't call it dark. I'd call it a little nefarious. It's a little gray. But this story is about Anya. And she is at a party with one of her close friends when she feels the need to go home. She just wants to go home. She's definitely on the not as fortunate end as far as like her cell phone's dying. She's, got roommates, her cell phone's dying. Her apartment is kind of falling apart and, those kinds of things. But she's just living paycheck to paycheck like everybody else. And her girlfriend is hooking up with this guy, and so she decides that she's just going to call a cab and she's going to leave. Well, her cell phone can't hold a charge, and so she goes looking around to see if she can find a phone, and she finds one being charged on a nightstand in a bedroom that she assumes belongs to the guy that her friend is trying to hook up with out on the balcony. But no, it belongs to Knight, who is like hiding in the shadows, and he's like, what the hell are you doing? Well, Knight is this billionaire who runs a whole bunch of nightclubs, and that is his apartment. And he instantly becomes obsessed with her and wants to make her life a little bit easier by, threatening her landlord and getting him beat up when he doesn't fix the problems in the house, and those kinds of things. And their relationship moves very quickly. He's very, very high-handed, and we know that there's something more going on that he's keeping from her, but we don't find out what that is until the very, very end. So I would call it a little more gray, but it's definitely Kristen Ashley, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it solid 4 stars.
Okay.
Next.
Unless
you got questions.
All right.
Next.
Well, last summer in July, several of series that I was really enjoying came to an end, and apparently that's a theme in July because another series that I really loved has come to an end.
Oh no, are you gonna be okay?
I hope so. So this one comes out on July 10th. So this is It's About Time by Harlow James. It's the 4th book in the Blossom Peak series, and it is narrated by Molly Stark and James Cassidy. They do a phenomenal job with that. So Harlow recommends that you go back and start with book 1 and listen or read the whole series in order. Although they are interconnected standalones, you'll enjoy them better that way. And I do agree with that. So we have Elliot. Elliot's bride leaves him like right before their wedding. And we've seen this in the other books, but this book goes back and it focuses just on Elliot. So it's like 9 months before the wedding. And it goes pretty quickly through that. So you kind of see what happened and what led him to having, like, what led up to this. So once he has been left at the altar, basically, he goes on a bender and he's not doing well. And Dylan, who is in their friend group, Elliot is her brother's best friend. She's known him most of her life and she feels bad for him, even though she does not like him at all. So they're definitely enemies. They have reasons to be enemies. But she still feels for him and goes to his house and checks on him and basically kind of forces him to get his life back together. And then, so Elliot's trying to get his life back together when his dad hires back Tori, his ex that left him, at the law firm, which leads Dylan then to claiming to be his fiance. And it is so funny. I love that so much when that happens in the book. So this book hits all the emotions. Like, there were times I was literally laughing out loud. There were some times where I cried. Like, it was just such a great book. And then we have Dylan, who's really busy trying to get a name for herself in the car world and restoration. And so it's just, the two end up complementing each other very well. And I loved it. And I'm sad the series is over. I rated it 5 stars.
Sounds good. Okay, so the next book I have...
he's also pierced.
Oh, I have like 2 this week that were pierced, which is great.
Me too. I have another book where he's pierced. And we see more of that happen in one of the other books, which is another reason if you read it in order, it's pretty good. Okay.
All right. So the next book I have, she labels this one as fake dating, but I don't call this fake dating. And I'm going to explain why in a minute. But this is one I had been waiting for the audio to come out because I like this author and I love her audio. And so this is Wicked Deception by Deborah Garland. This is book 4 in her Quinlan Empire series. And so this is Irish Mafia. But this book is about Fallon and Reese. So Fallon is neurodivergent. She lives on her own in an apartment in New York, and she has this little plot of land that she gardens that's owned by the city, but it's like one of those, if you get the land and take care of it, you can plant a garden there. And she talks to her plants, and in her head, they talk back, and that's okay. But she also, like, if you do something to her plants or something to her, she'll let you know that she has a boyfriend and he is a hitman for the mafia. And so, leave her alone. Also, that hitman boyfriend of hers is her next door neighbor, who is Reese. He lives in the same apartment building, and he might not be fully aware that his neighbor is his girlfriend. And so they have a few run-ins. She sneaks into his house and gives him plants. He knows that she's sneaking in because they can see that on the cameras, but he knows she's completely harmless. And then one day when she's sneaking around his apartment, watering his plants for him because he just doesn't do that, she sees him take somebody out. And so then he asks her what she wants, and she realizes that at this point, she can blackmail him into going to all of her holiday festivities from Friendsgiving all the way through Christmas. And that is what she does. Now, she fully believes that they are in a relationship. He is just trying to appease her so she doesn't, but he's also falling for her at the same time. So while I see why they label it as fake dating, in her mind, they are together. And he's not opposed to it.
Damn it, Jessica, that sounds good too.
And she's so quirky. I loved it. I think I gave it 4 stars. It's probably more of a 4.5. But I really enjoyed this one, and I loved her. She's so, I don't know, she's just a different heroine. The fact that we actually can hear her plants respond back to her, because I listened to the audio for it. So, and he loves her for that. She gives him, and she calls him basil and Corey for coriander and like all sorts of things.
I talk to my animals.
I'm fully aware. I talk to myself.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's okay. It's all good. So yes, I still have one more book, but this was a good reading week. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to read everything that you read, basically.
Well, add it to your shit pile. Your shit ton pile.
I've noticed you're not picking up any of the books I've been reading.
Oh, there's a few that I put up here. But I had a good reading week.
You did.
Yeah. So
okay. I'm trying to think of what I have planned to read.
What you can move around.
Kind of, yeah.
So next week on 1 Minute Book Recs, you guys will hear about all the same books again.
I don't know. I mean, I've said that a lot of times, like where I've wanted to read books that you've read and then I don't. And then you talk about them again like months later and I'll be like, and you're like, why did I never read that?
Yeah. It just happens. We both have a list, and I did clean off my TBR on Goodreads a little bit. I think I got it down to 300 books now, because I took the ones out that were from like 2020 that I'm like, why are these in here? I will never read these. I don't care.
I actually did that on my Kindle, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'll record it for like a Wednesday video. And so I did. And then even though my phone was in the correct position, my phone recorded it in the wrong position.
Oh.
Yeah. It's done that to me a few times, and usually it's like when I'm doing shorts or something, and so I notice it, but I already did it, and I'm like, well, I already cleaned my entire Kindle off, so I can't really redo it. So I gotta see if I can somehow flip the video.
Yeah.
But I was kind of annoyed by that.
I need you to show me how to organize my Kindle. But the thing is, I've got so many books on my Kindle that I own that just the idea of organizing it, because the Kindle Fire is a little different than the Scribe. And it's just the idea of like having to go through and putting all of those books into a file, like into their own folders, is daunting.
I just have a couple folders.
I know, but I have so many books that you have to go to each book and put them into a folder.
Yeah.
And that's what the daunting part.
Yeah, see, I started this I started moving them like when I first started. Yeah.
Yeah, like now to go back, it's just, no, it'll never happen. So the idea is there. The concept is there. I'd love for you to show me, but I'll never do it because I don't have that time.
Well, maybe you could just start by getting yourself a folder that's like TBR and moving your books that you haven't read into that.
That might be. That would be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I started, because I was getting, because my
because the new ones show
up on there, which is really annoying.
I hate that the audiobooks show up on there.
Yeah, and so then I was like, well, my books, some of them are getting way lost in the audio, and so that's why I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start a TBR folder, and then from there, once I read them, they just go in my red folder. I don't have them organized beyond that, but I can search for them if I need something.
Yeah.
So. Anyway.
Okay,
my next book is one from, I think this is from our Brave video, maybe even 2 Brave videos ago, and that is Beyond the Game by Susan Renee. It was on my Kindle, and I was like, I want to read it, so let's get it done. So this is part of her Chicago Red Tails series, so he's a hockey player. I just realized I didn't write the real names down. They meet at when they're on vacation, and they meet like at a bar type situation, and she introduces herself as Amanda Hug and Kiss, so he says, I'm bend over, and they hook up, and I realized I never actually wrote their actual names down. I just wrote those down. So anyways, She does not know that he's a hockey player, and he kind of like, I think that's sort of a theme sometimes in books, that like the famous people like hooking up with somebody that doesn't know that they're famous a little bit.
Mhm.
So they end up hooking up. And then for whatever reason, he can't get her out of his mind, and he's kind of bummed that like they didn't give actual names and everything. Well, him and his sister live together. I didn't find that weird. They have a big penthouse. She's a teacher, and he's basically like, if I have all this money, like, what's the big deal if she lives with me? My timer went off.
Oh, dear.
I did see a couple of reviews where people like were like, that was so weird, but I
That's
didn't really
not weird.
think anything of it. Well,
But
there's like a
I lived with
time where
my
she
sister.
jokes, like she makes a sexual joke about like her brother, like, and people were like, that was weird. And I didn't feel that way, but I also don't have siblings like that, so I can't say. Anyways, his
Not weird.
sister shows up at their penthouse with her new friend from work. That is Amanda. And she is very, very pregnant.
Ooh.
Yes. And in case
Okay.
those darts weren't clear, it is going to be his.
It's gonna be his baby.
Yes.
Okay.
He's
All
also
right.
pierced.
Love it when they're pierced.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you ready for my last book?
Yes. And then I will have my last book.
Okay. So this is a novella that was talked about, has been being talked about a lot in the betrayal Facebook group that I'm in. So this is called Bone Mangler, and it is by Katie Landry. And this is an MC novella. And this one definitely has an older heroine because our heroine, Polly, is 42. Her son has just gone off to college and she had the only child. So she is empty nesting it. And her husband, they've been divorced for about a year. Her husband has replaced her with a younger model. He was a lawyer. So he got the house. Like she didn't realize that she could fight for certain things. He got the house. He got all the money. She's left with diddly squat. And so her car is breaking down and she's just not doing very hot when she sees an ad in a paper, and it is for an assistant position with this motorcycle club. So she goes down to the garage where they're working on all of the motorcycles, and she applies for the position. And then she gets the position. So the position actually is for the president, and it is for a free use girl for the president who is in his 50s and doesn't like technology. And I guess all the guys put the ad in the paper. And so she becomes the free use girl just for the president. And then one day he says something and it breaks her heart. And that's where the betrayal and the grovel comes from. But I gave it a solid 4 stars. I liked it. Bone Mangler is his road name. His actual name was Abraham, but it is a complete grumpy sunshine because he's just a complete asshole, and she is poly positive. Everything is positive. Like she gardens, she's all about like he'll be like just bend that thing over, and she'll be like, "Well, can you pick that flower for me first?" Like, and then she's like talking about the herbs that she's gonna plant, and then she just bends over for him. It's great. It was very tongue in cheek, quirky, fun, and I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. My last book is from, this is not from the Lazy River, but it was an author that we met
Okay.
at Spicy Reads. And I was trying really hard to stay a little more organized because often we'll leave these events and I'll be like, oh, I wanted to check that author out. I wanted to check that author out. And then I just
Don't.
yeah. So I was trying really hard to stay more organized and stay on top of those books. So this is another one from Spicy Reads. This is Date and Switch by Willow Sanders. So Bryce catches his girlfriend, like he finds out she's been cheating on him. And he finds this out right when he comes home to surprise her with a 7-month cruise around the world. And so now he's stuck with this cruise for a Sarah Miller. So he is kind of roped in to doing a TikTok about like, hey, if your name's Sarah Miller and you want to come on this cruise with me, let me know. And so some women actually respond to this, and one of them is Serafina, and who goes by Sarah. And so he actually ends up meeting with her and invites her to come on the cruise with him, and she goes. And so this is that story. The I I ended up rating it 3 stars because I got a little annoyed. She is a curvier, like plus size heroine who we have to get told that like a lot in this book. And I got kind of annoyed with that. Like, I don't have, that was my timer. I don't
Okay,
have or I guess I could switch
I
myself
got it.
over. Oh, I don't have a problem with like a curvy heroine. I don't have a problem with a skinny heroine. But when we have like a petite heroine, you don't hear over and over again, she's so skinny, nothing fits her. Like you just don't read that. And so in this, like it kept coming up where like she doesn't have the proper ball gown for one of the evenings. So he calls down to get one sent up and they're like, we don't have anything in her size. Like just and like it's just it gets like repeated a lot. But also if you look at that cover, that's not a curvy heroine on the cover. Like you can't like base your entire book off of a curvy heroine and then have like a non-curvy heroine on your book cover like that. I feel like is just wrong. It bothered me. So I just got a little annoyed with that and kind
Mm-hmm.
of bored with the story at times. It was still good. Some people might like it and it may not bother them. I just, I don't know. I just feel like I was like, if we replaced every time that we're reminded that she's like plus size or there's an issue with her weight, if we change that to like her being thin or petite, you never read that in books. So I don't understand why. Like, there's authors who write curvy heroines and they do a really great job with
Yep.
it. It happens a lot in books, probably so much so that I don't even think to mention it. But when it's constant, like, it's like, this is
Mhm.
annoying.
Yeah. And the cover drives me nuts too. Like if
Hmm.
there's been times when a hero or a heroine will be on the cover and they are described looking a certain way. Let's say they've got dark hair, but then on the cover, the person on the cover has blonde hair.
Yeah.
That drives me nuts. That you as an author are choosing your cover, that is an attention to detail that should be necessary. And I've seen covers too. There was a book that I read one time, and the heroine in the book was black, but on the cover they had her as white, and that was not fair to that heroine in that book. And I was really annoyed by that. I didn't want to read that author anymore because I'm like, if you can't, that is a huge thing. Like, that's not fair. What are you
Yeah.
doing? It's not
This
right.
is the cover. I know
Oh,
everybody
hell
else
no.
will see where I put it in, but yeah. Does that
No.
look like somebody who's
No.
wearing like a size 16, 18,
Maybe a
and
size 6, but
and
probably
they
smaller than
can't find
that.
clothes for her on the ship? No.
No. She's probably more like a 2.
Yeah.
No. No. Yeah, I don't like that. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, I started my new book journal. So just a reminder, if
Yes.
anybody else is needing a book
Yeah.
journal, we do have our book journals. They're very, very handy and
Yep.
well done. They have
I'll have
everything that you need to keep track.
I'll
So
have to start a new one by the end of the month, if not sooner. So we're both going to be in that boat. I got to
yeah,
order
so
another
you can
one.
check out our Amazon store below. Also, we forgot to
About a week.
mention at the start of this video, our channel membership is now live. You can go check out our channel membership video that talks about it, but this is something we got quite a few comments and messages asking us about channel membership. So we said we would start working on it. I just want to reiterate that nothing will be hidden. We don't have hidden videos with this. This is more based on the messages we received. This was more of a like, hey, why don't you have this so we can support you? And
Yeah.
so there are some perks which you can go watch our videos to see what the different perks are from that, the channel membership video, and you'll see the join button now. But again,
When is the channel membership video going up?
well, I suppose it will go up as soon as we click live on the channel membership. So it should be active now when people
Okay.
are watching this.
Okay. I didn't know if it was something that was like supposed to be a Wednesday video or if it was something that went up for the channel
No, it
membership
just
thing. So,
goes with our, when they go to click on channel membership, it's, hey, this is
okay.
our channel membership.
It's here. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. All righty. Well, then let's wrap this one up because we still have to go make that video.
Yeah. So check back Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and I think all of Wednesdays, especially in July, for new
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.